Shalom Aleichem and welcome to Machin La'ira online smicha. Being that this much of Shabbos we start the slichos, at least for the Ashkenazim, and for the Sephardim, they started saying slichos already from Rosh Chodesh Elul on. There's a beautiful word that in the Shulchan Aruch, which the Mechaber wrote on Siman Tov Kuf Pei Aleph. It says Noyagim. It's customary to wake up early morning on Chodesh Elul and say slichos every day. And the Ramah, which the Ashkenazim follow, says we don't do it from Rosh Chodesh Elul. We do it a minimum 4 days, or as this year, the maximum will be about a week and a half. You need a minimum of 4 days. But it's very uncommon, the commentaries say it's very uncommon for the Mechaber, for the Beis Yosef to use the words Noyagim. It's usually, the Mechaber says the halacha. However, the Ramah, the Ashkenazi, says Noyagim, yet the custom is different. Why over here is this halacha written different than usual? So it says in Chassidish Svarim, because the halacha says that minig mevatel din, that a minig is stronger, it can override a din. Because these days are days of judgment, and we're saying slichus to override chas v'shalom any din that's able to happen. So the Mechaber, when he brings this halacha of saying slichus, specifically uses the word v'noyagin. It's customary. So the minig should be able, this minig of saying slichus should override any chance of any chas v'shalom din. But we're at the stretch run now. We're at the last weekend. We're starting to say slichus matzah Shabbos. I want to tell you a mashal, two mashalim that have to do with fire, that to infuse people that the last minute blast should be full enthusiasm. So it is told a story about a person that was being charged, being brought to court, and it was a difficult case. However, he managed to find a lawyer. He paid him well, and the lawyer had it all figured out exactly what the defendant should say to defend himself in any question that came up. And when the day of the court came, the day of the mishpat came, the guy was already prepared. He studied the notes perfectly, and then came to the court, and they asked him the questions. He pulled out the paper, and he knew it like he said it beautiful. He just like read it straight from a paper and answered all the questions. However, it was very, very dry. So the lawyer bent over to the client and says, "Mister, give fire. Give some fire here. If you're going to read it dry from a paper, you're going to lose your pants. Now is the time when you're standing to defend yourself. You have to give a little life into what you're saying. It's not enough just to read it as it is." So the Svarim, it also says, Baruch Hashem, the Anshe Knesset HaGedolah have set up Sidurim with a text. How do we daven? Or we have a machzer, a slichus, a text, how to daven. But now is the time when give fire, when you have to put fire in the words that you're saying. It should be lebedik. Another mashal which is brought about giving fire is there was a story, or is a mashal that the Chachmei HaMusar bring, that there was a truck, that there was a simple ish kfar, and he was summoned to court, but they saw that he wasn't getting tzikratz, he wasn't getting worried, he kept on delaying it. He says, "Oh, my court date is a month from now. I have noch Zeit." His family was more worried than him. They kept on nudging him, "Prepare yourself," and he kept on saying, "There's still time. There's still time." They said, "Get prepared. Make sure you have a car. Make sure you have a wagon." There's enough time. So it went down from a month to a week. He's still delaying it, and he's treating it as if he's no worries. Now the day of the court case arrives. Everybody around him is sittering, but he's saying, "What's the worry? I still have some time left." And he went to sleep patient. He had a good shlaf. He woke up. And now, punk that night, a strong snow fell, a big snow fell, and now he wakes up, and the wagon or the car, whatever it was, has to be dug out. But he doesn't have too much time. So typically, you dug out, you shovel slowly, you scrape it off. He started doing his regular routine, but because he wasn't prepared, and he didn't do it with zest strong enough, he was going to miss the time of the court. So the people started screaming, says, "Now is not the time to scrape. Now is not the time to shovel. Now you need to come with a fire to melt the snow, because you have no time to shovel. And the Nimshul, they would say, is the same thing. From Rosh Chodesh Elul until now, we kept on scraping. We got one Hiserus. We kept on shoveling things off. But now it comes to the last week, and it's the time of saying Slichas. Now is when you have to have the fire. And when you come with the fire, with the bren, and you ask sincerely, Hashem is Mekabel all our tefillas, and gives everybody a bracha, Hashana Tov V'Mesukah.